Just having a think. So I was doing, excuse my voice, I've been whacking back the Lemsip and dying of a cold, which I'm wrapped up heavily, as you can see. Haven't been in for a swim in a few days. But I wanted to just make a point of, two things that seem very similar, but one is beneficial, the other isn't. So I think participation medals are a load of shite, right? So we shouldn't give medals purely by participating, but we should reward effort, and hard work. And you think to yourself, well, is showing up not enough? And in many ways, yeah, it is. But do you want to just give someone a medal for showing up? No, And I thought of this because when I was doing the Bronco runs that I set up for the lads, so they'd be the junior team, so 14, 15 year olds, basically, around that age, under 16s pretty much, But I praised the lad who was clearly dominating. Like, we've got this lad who he's played winger, centre, number 8 in second row, and he's just a great athlete, and a nice young fella as well. Just really good young fella, really takes instructions well, does whatever you ask him. He's a delight to coach, and I love having him in the team. I went over and shook his hand afterwards and said, well done mate, you absolutely smashed that. He was leading the way through the whole thing. But then at the end of training, I gave a special mention. The two lads, both called Daniel, great name. So I guess you could take it in two ways. Either lads called Daniel try really hard, or lads called Daniel always finish last. Yeah, I think either one is correct. Although I got good at things, I worked my arse off and did eventually stop coming last. But the two of them, the two Dans, they both tried really hard, so like, they came towards the end of the Broncos. But here's the thing that I was impressed with, right? So one of them's a front rower, he's our tight head prop, and you could see he was struggling. Like, you could just use your intuition. And I was able to compare that with another young fella who's a bit, I don't like using the term soft, but he's always asking lots and lots of questions, like when's training over, when do I get to leave? And look, sometimes when I was really not enjoying it, I used to be the same, so I get where he's coming from. But when it came to fitness, I always pushed myself. Even when I was unfit, I was puking, and it's just that my threshold was a lot lower, you know what I mean? But this lad asking all the questions is like, the boot was falling off, and I said to him, why are you walking? And he's like, because my boots are about to fall off. And I said, alright, well stop, tie the boots, and then go again, but jog, I said, that's fine, take a moment to tie them, but then go at full pace rather than walking, because I could see he just wasn't making any effort. And he doesn't look like he's from a sporting background, so you're kind of wanting to encourage him to stay with it, but you also see a lack of effort, But the two Dans, like, on the other hand, there were lads who'd finished way before them, so there was no real reason to keep going. But as I say, one of them's a tight head prop, so a bigger young fella, but he was gassed, he was dying. I said, come on Dan, push yourself. And as soon as he was walking, got the air into him, and then was jogging again, I was like, that deserves a bit of praise afterwards. I was like, he's clearly pushing himself. That's all I could ask, And I've seen a few lads doing it, where they're clearly injured, but they stretch, they get straight back and start running again. They don't just go, I'm done and I'm quitting. I think we should reward that, So like, that's effort, and there's another fella, a new young fella, also called Dan. So one's a front rower, another, I think he's a winger. So like, you expect your wingers to be fitter, but look, I could see he was pushing himself. he was struggling, but he kept pushing. So there's stuff to work on there. I'm not going to give out to him because he was going as fast as he could, and it's competing against yourself. If I see lads not pushing themselves, I'm kind of like, yeah, look, come on, go harder. And some of them like were doing it and it was easy to them, you know. They're just natural athletes and wasn't a bother at all to them. But my point being, because I understand, like, it's kind of like, well, okay, but what's your point? Do you want to just tell lads not to try then, or not to even show up? Or no. My point being, praise guys when they do well. When they're trying, you know, they might not win everything, but if you see them pushing themselves, they're working the best at what they have. You know what I mean? And that's something we praise. That's something to be encouraged. You're like, well done. Like, I know you didn't win, but don't worry about that, because it's not about winning. And we said it to them at the start. You're competing with yourself. That's the only person you should ever be competing with. Like I say, you don't have to be the winner. But you see lads trying, and I'm like, fair fucks. You keep building on that. You've got something that a lot of these other lads don't. You come last, but you're still trying to get to the end. You know you've come last. So you can just go, right, well, I'm fucking last. That's the end of it. I give up. No. You're still going. Fair fucks to you. Well done. And we praise that. That makes the lad go, I did something. I feel good now because I'm getting the coaches acknowledging me. You know what I mean? No wave there. What does it cost to wave, huh? But never mind that. But acknowledging it at the end, because I don't know if the other coaches were going to acknowledge it. It was kind of like, oh, well done everyone, but it was a cold fucking day. They all showed up, fair play to them. And well done to those guys, you know. Really impressed. And how they can build on that. But another thing that I always had was, if I saw lads winning medals and doing well. Now, I know there is a negative side to, you know, always having to be better than everybody, always having to be the best. But there's also a sense of achievement, you know. You aspire to be better than somebody. You aspire to get to their level. Like, there used to be this lad, and he was just really good at long distance running and sprinting, you know. He was just very fast, and you say to yourself, oh, he trains or he eats better. No, this lad ate shite. Like, he used to have a 2-litre bottle of Coke for lunch and like packets of Minstrels and Maltesers. Just didn't put on any weight, you know, and it's just very good at running. Some people just have it, you know, and others don't. And I remember, like, a lot of guys used to not show up for sports day in school because they didn't have to. And I was like, nah, fuck it, I actually want to go. I want to see how good I am. And I think they had us do 1 kilometre run, you know, like a jog or a run. But I remember thinking, I'm fucking gonna win the medal in this. I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna come first, but I'm certainly gonna win a medal. And I'm kind of someone who, I'll tire out no matter what pace I'm going at, you know. So I was there thinking, I'll take a massive lead here, I'll sprint ahead and I'll lead the way, and it's up to everybody else to catch me. And I forgot how many laps there were to go, so I thought, oh yeah, I'll just jog in now, I'm after really going for it, but I'll get there. And I took a massive lead, but didn't realise there was one entire lap to go. And so I was holding on, just a jogging pace, and then this lad overtook me and got first. But I was like, no, well, I'm fucking not letting anybody else beat me. I'm getting second. And there were lads like catching up and coming around the corner. I was like, you've got enough in the tank just to get the second, you know, get second place. And I did. I put everything into it. But that was the mindset I had, you know. It was very competitive, and I think that was a good thing, you know. But you can overdo it. And things didn't go my way, but I think that's a learning curve. Things aren't going to go your way. This isn't a fucking fairy tale. But the point being, I didn't get a participation medal, and I wanted that medal. I wanted to achieve something, you know, so I thought to myself, I'm fucking getting that. And like, you didn't have to show up. Like, I was only joking. My brother, he was like, "Asher, I never went into school. Why the fuck would I go to the sports day?" But I just had that in me, you know. I was kind of like, well, I want that. I'm gonna get it. I'm kind of sad that I lost that sort of mindset, but at the same time, it became unhealthy. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of grateful for everything. You know, you can be pissy and you can be moany about it. I'm very grateful. I've gotten to see the negative aspect of, well, not everything in life. That's a bit arrogant to say, but being competitive with yourself is a good thing. But then I start getting competitive, thinking, why can't I be like other guys? That's when it becomes unhealthy. You know, you see what I mean? It's like, I worked harder, and there's a saying, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. And it's very true, you know, it is. If you're talented and you just sit in your arse doing nothing, getting fat, smoking and drinking, you've been blessed, you know. But a lot of guys who are naturally talented don't have to work hard. It's just natural to them, so they become lazy. And sure, like, they'll beat you at everything at first, but then you have that desire and you're training and you're being more disciplined, you'll get further. They will. It's an important life lesson, you know. But it all depends on, do you want it? Is it worth it? It's like, does anybody else read Charles Bukowski? I like his stuff. You know, now he was an alcoholic, and he's someone who even said, I would have killed myself if I didn't have alcohol. I would have killed myself a long time ago. So stuff that I'm a bit iffy about, you know. Sorry, I would say. But he said something, don't try hard. And then we delved into it, you know, and it's like, don't try hard. And he's like, no, don't try hard at stuff that you don't even like. And it got me thinking. I was like, yeah, Jesus, am I even enjoying this? Do I even like what I'm doing? And he's like, see, he worked in post rooms and, you know, your typical blue collar jobs. And, you know, he wasn't making an awful lot of money. Like, none of his work got published until he was in his 50s. So he didn't get to see or reap the rewards of it until he was in his 50s. And you're there thinking to yourself, yeah, but it was all the shit that he did beforehand, like all the shitty jobs that he worked, were all to get there, you know, to get to that point. And that's why he was able to keep it up. Like, he lived on absolutely nothing, but he was able to keep going because he had an end goal in mind. He had something he wanted to achieve. So if you have something you want to achieve, work hard towards that, you know what I mean? And you can do it, you know? And it made me think, like, what did I even want? What do I even want? I don't even know, you know. It's very hard to know. I'm at such a crossroads at the minute. I always thought when I was younger it was rugby. Then I realised there's a lot of politics involved, a lot of, you know, a lot of interactions with people that tire me out, you know. So people don't even consider that, but I used to get tired just interacting with people and putting on a smiley face all the time and trying to be fake for everyone. And I hate all the bullshit that comes with it, you know. The politics that comes with sports, I found, was exhausting. I just thought, I can't deal with that, which is a shame, because I love playing the sport, you know, the actual sport I could do. But the bullshit in the background is just something I can't deal with. Even coaching kids, you see it, you're like, fuck me, like, it's just it's unbelievable, the depths that people will stoop to just to win. So that's the side of sport I don't like. And that creates entitlement, you know, when you know everything is, like, you've played so many underhand tactics, sorry. You're trying to put off the other team. Like, I remember other teams used to make us warm up on, say, a shitty, mucky grass pitch while they were training on an astro pitch, and they wouldn't let us train on that as well when we were warming up to put us off our game. And you're like, are you for fucking real? This isn't professional, you know, this is just for fun. And I thought the fun went out of it big time. And then, as I say, like, here's the thing, finding it in the weirdest places, but talking to people, you get a different sense of ideas, and that's why I love talking and communicating with people. Helen, one of the women in compassion focused therapy, she is in her 60s, and she talked about it. Same when she played camogie, female hurling, FYI. She said that it was much more about fun, just playing it for the enjoyment of it. And now she sees when she's bringing her grandkids to play hurling, and it's just bullshit. Like, the coach is being a fucking dickhead on the sideline. These are for kids as well, like 12, 13 year olds, even younger in some cases. And just the language that comes out with them. Though I admit, I get a bit heated as well. Like, I'm a very passionate coach, but because I want our lads to do well, I never tell them that they're crap. I never say to them, oh, you know, you're an idiot, why'd you do that? It's all constructive. I don't believe in shouting at a young fella and telling him he's brutal, or, oh, that was pathetic, you know, you missed that tackle. It's like, he already knows he missed a tackle or made a bad pass. You don't need to be saying it to him. And he's probably beating himself up already about it. Me hammering that home to him is not going to help. And I just think that a lot of sport has become very professionalised, if you like. It's not even a word, I don't think, but I think you know what I mean. It's like your gym programs, getting your macros in, all that bollocks. It's like people just showed up before, having had a battered sausage and chips and a pint, and then off they went to the rugby pitch. Oh yeah, you should always be healthier, of course. That's fair enough, but the joy has gone out of sport so much. Unbelievably so. And I'm not the only one saying it, loads of people are saying it. Just think it's become way too much micromanaging everything, you know, rather than just playing the fucking sport. And I think we need to keep that out of sport until it gets to the professional level. Because, like, I've experienced the negative side. I've experienced the dark side and the cheating that goes on, even at amateur level. You know, when children are playing, the cheating that goes on with coaches and the other team, the arrogance and the ego of some of them, you know, they'll put you off your game and do anything to win. You know, fair play doesn't come into it. It's, I have to be the winner. I want to win, and I don't give a fuck what I have to do to win. I won, you didn't, so I'm a winner and you're a loser. And that's all that matters to them. They're little pricks. They're horrible to play against, and even when you beat them fair and square, they're still cheating and complaining that you've older players. That's the funny thing. So, like, my brother before, he's a big fella, you know, big strong fella, looks older than everybody else, but the arrogance of this, like what another team did, coach from another team asked my brother and one of his teammates for their age, and they're like, fuck off. And the coach is there saying, excuse me, you can talk to me if you want to talk about my players. You don't come and talk to them, you talk to me. And he said, here's the ages of all of them, I have birth certs and everything. And then he said, I'd like to see yours as well, please. And guess what? My brother's team were fine. Nobody over age. And the opposition team of players over age. The level of arrogance, like, that you must have. It's like, oh, we can check you, but you can't check us. Fucking pathetic. And I just think to myself, participation medals are a load of shite, because you might show up but you don't try, and you're not taught that you have to try at anything. And then if you're in a team that always wins everything, even without trying hard enough, you just rock up thinking you're going to win all the time. And you do, because no matter what you fucking do, you win. Best gym programs, best coaches, Leinster cameramen at your games. You build up a level of arrogance. It's like, you know you're going to win. You don't even have to try. It's just set in stone. You know, and I used to hate seeing that. The lads who obviously knew the professional coaches, who knew the right people. I find all that bullshit exhausting. But it's not about who's the best, who is the most talented. So you got to just work. Jesus, they're there. You just got to work with yourself. Be better than you were before. Come on, Alf. Good boy. That's why I was thinking of getting into individual sports, because look, I know there's politics and everything, but I think with team sports there's definitely more area. You got more people who know the right people. I just think it's bullshit. It's very tiring. Like, we should be rewarding those who work hard, who put in the effort, but we don't. It really is a lie. It's a fairy tale people tell you, that, you know, hard work means you'll always get success. No, but you should do it for yourself. And I always reward effort. I always think, if I see you putting in the effort, I'm going to give you a mention. I'm going to say, well done you, fair play to you. You know, credit to you, you stuck at it. I was only talking to one of the lads I coach with. I couldn't make the game on Friday that we had, and he said, yeah, the opposition were stronger. They were. It was a seconds game, so a seconds senior game, senior seconds. So a lot of fifth year lads, you know, 16, 17, and a lad punched one of our lads twice, and no sanction or nothing. The referee just didn't want to know about it, even though it was clear and obvious. And like, a punch is an automatic red card. You see the ridiculous shit that gets you a red card nowadays. Come on then, oh boy. I remember getting carded for such stupid shit, and then the opposition players stamping on people and gouging people. We were just like, yeah, it's clear, you've made your mind up, you know. It's clear that you've picked your team that you want to win. I just don't get what goes through your head when you think like that. You know, I could never understand it. Now, I always had an ideal view of the world, but which quickly got stamped out, let me tell you. Come on, Alf, good boy, you can't go in there. Good boy. You know, life experience taught me differently. So I'm just taking the mindset of praising guys when they try hard, and I see it, you know, because there's too much politics in sport. There's too many parents who want their kid to get in the right team, interfering, you know, thinking they know it all. There's too much rewarding bad behaviour as well. Come on. Someone who's loud and cocky getting what they want does my fucking head in. You know, that prick who never shuts up thinking that they're great and they're the best player in the team when the evidence suggests otherwise. I like talking about why Gen Z are weak. I get politics has always played a role in sport, yeah, but I think with the helicopter parenting, you know, the cosseting of young people, what that leads to is, my child's great, you know, he's better than your kid. And I saw it, you know, like, I grew up around it. And this is all my personal experience. If you've got anything to add to it, please tell me. Let me know your experience, maybe from a different generation. And good boy, good boy. But you can see it building up, you know. My kid is great, my kid is better than your kid. Rather than the tough love. Might be an element of narcissism in it, where you're making me look bad by not playing well. Sure, but certainly when they're with other parents, what they say is, oh yes, my kid's doing this and he's great and your kid's not as good as my kid. Do you mind? Tried to make a fucking video. You know, the yappy little dogs, like a bulldog and a French bulldog and a Jack Russell. Bad combination. But yeah, like, my dad was tough love, and you know, he was just kind of like, oh, don't be looking for praise off me. He'd say that, you know. Again, somehow, like, there's always a scale. Shut the fuck up. Just yap for no reason, anytime, like. But I could hear other parents talking about their kids and how much they were bigging them up, and you're there thinking they're not that great, like, really. That's how I improved, was just by being very critical. But then I start comparing myself to everybody else. That's not healthy. You know. But I do, I see it. I see, like, the helicopter parents who go, my Johnny's wonderful, he never do. It's always my Johnny, isn't it? Never anyone else. Who is this Johnny? I'm switching around again. But my parents would just kind of be listening to that, and you're kind of going, well, I wonder what they make of that. They were never really going, oh yeah, my Sam and Dan are doing this, and we were just kind of there. But especially my brother, with how good he was just taken advantage of, because he didn't say anything. He was very quiet. Yeah. You could just see these people who wouldn't have anything said against their kids and running onto the pitch if they got an injury, you know. Oh, are you okay, honey? And cosseting them, you know. As my mum said, oh, they got hit to the head, they'll be fine. They've got hard heads. It's pathetic, you know, it's ridiculous. And it's always my kid's going to be the best, even if he isn't. I'll make him the best. You see these spoiled little shits as well, that they have to be the best. And now when I was ultra competitive, I didn't like how reactive I was, how, yeah, I guess arrogant, you know. I thought like I had to be doing all this stuff, but I certainly never believed highly in myself, you know. It was all shame based. You know, this fella's doing this and, you know, you're not. You need to be able to do that as well. Wanting to be basically a strong man and lift the heaviest weight, but then run the marathon in the quickest time. Two completely separate things, you know. You're not going to be able to do them at the same time anyway. You see Mitch Hooper, he ran marathons and became a strong man, but you can't have it all, most of us. But guys, yeah, just an important lesson there, and before my throat goes on me, I'll wrap it up there. And here's Alf. Goodbye. There, I'm off to get more lemsip. I'm dying.